Welcome back. We're very fortunate this evening to have with us Queensland's top love therapist, Madam Destiny. She's here this evening to talk about romance. Over to you, Madam Destiny.
Hi, it's delightful to be here. Romance. Why is it so important to women? That's what we're talking about. Romance has often been defined as intimacy, care, and attachment. So what women really like is that it is a reciprocal thing, like between two people, and it's, you know, two and four, backwards and forwards. And so often that doesn't happen as a reciprocal event. And often men try and do this pounce thing, which, or try and do a move on, well, how am I going to get this lady in the cot, which is not what romance is about at all. So this is where it becomes a bit tricky. If we, for the reciprocal thing, women do like to have interest. We need to share common interests with our partner. This is outside of the bed, for instance, outside of the romantic situation. We need to be able to share nice meals, all kinds of interests, whether it's dancing, yachting, racing, whatever it is. But we need to share those kind of interests as well out of the bed, so that when we hop into this romantic situation, we have some trust there. So here we go. Are there any questions?
Well, I've got a lot of questions actually. If you have a horse and a yacht and a few things like that, how the hell are you going to have time to actually be romantic? I mean, you're going to be flat out riding your horse around all day, sailing your yacht around the harbour. You're going to be completely exhausted when you get home. How is one supposed to take the extra pounce or step of what you're talking about here?
See, what's happening is that Sir Charles doesn't seem to understand that a pounce is one thing, but a delayed gratification so that two people can have an immense amount of pleasure is an entirely different subject matter altogether. Should we tell him or shouldn't we, I wonder? It's like similar to if you have fast food. Fast food and fast sex are on a similar basis. And so if you have a lovely smorgasbord meal that lasts 1 to 2 hours, and then you have a lovely romantic situation that lasts 1 to 2 hours, where the male can delay gratification such that they can both share this wonderful time together in caring and play and elevating their spirits with music, with
What's this business about elevating music? Do you think that really helps? Elevating music, lifting the spirits? And we talk about delayed gratification. The old days, 12 minutes was a record for the boys in the regiment for making late night advances with a lady. That 12 minutes, would you saying to me that that's not a long time?
Well, 12 minutes, if it's 12 minutes, I don't think the woman is warmed up, and I think she would say, forget it, baby, let's not even begin the story.
What sort of woman would say that? She's got, you know, an elegant officer, very well-known, respected doctor, both very loaded, and you're saying they'd knock back the advances in favour of some elevator music and some sort of long-winded, tedious, all-night affair.
Well, you see, we're talking about two entirely different things. As you know,
certainly are.
Fast food is one thing, and a beautiful long smorgasbord with tasting every single bit of the meal is entirely different. And that's the same with having a romantic situation or a fast situation. They are so totally different. You need to put aside the time for a long romantic evening, for instance. And if you want to have that fast stuff, that's an entirely different story, and never the twain shall meet. So it's two ways here, Sir Charles. You know, you meet women halfway and give us a beautiful, you know, give men, a beautiful, long, slow, lovely warm-up and lovely romantic situation with delayed gratification, and we will be very, very happy.
An elevated pounce.
Pounce?
An elevated pounce.
Elevated pounce. It's from a great height. I mean, I had an elevated pounce once when I was hunting tiger once. and it really hurt like hell. So maybe you're right, pouncing can be dangerous as well for the physique. So when you're talking about a man getting organised and not pouncing, what the woman wants to be pounced on? All the time when I'm outside, working in the Parliament, women are all the time throwing themselves on me. Pounce on me, Sir Charles, pounce on me, Sir Charles. Very tedious. But what do you do about that then?
Well, you see, the pounce has really not much to do with romance. So I guess you either pounce or you romance, because they're so entirely different. So you decide whether you want the elevation and the ecstasy and a beautiful, long, loving relationship, or you want this fast, it's all over Charlie in 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. There is the gulf between, and you make the call.
Well, that certainly has been very enlightening for all the male viewers. I'm sure you can learn something here. Stroker, I believe we've learned something this evening.
More than you can imagine.
More than you can imagine, certainly. I can't imagine learning any more, I can tell you that. Anyway, it's very, very kind of Madam Destiny to come on the show. I'd like to thank you. We're looking forward to next week.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have a lovely lady here. We do need to lift the hawker.